Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We got a really special podcast for you today. If you want to really get into the holiday spirit this year, that's our goal on this show, because there's a lot of tough things going on right now. I'm sure you don't know. But here, we just want to have a nice, wholesome, magical time. And so, my name is Brian.
My name is Michael.
And this is a little show that we like to call Checking It Twice.
Checking it twice.
And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a variety of Christmas specials and films. And basically, the reason why it's called Checking It Twice is that since we're two people, we'll be checking each of these pieces of media twice. Once each. So, you know you're getting that quality assurance. Okay? So you have to trust us on this one. You have to trust us.
You have to trust us.
Yeah. So, even though it may sound like we're doing this as a bit, we're very sincere about this, and we love Christmas specials. So,
yeah, we have a list of at least 50 Christmas specials that I'm planning on running through.
This is basically what we did. We made a Google Doc, a Google document, if you will, and we gathered together some of our favorite pieces of holiday media. But we also we mixed together the old and new. And today, we have a new one. We have one that we watched together for the first time just a few days ago. It was November 17th, 2020 that it came out.
I watched it at 2 a.m.
At 3 a.m. for me. The Lego Star Wars Holiday Special.
Out now on Disney+.
Yes, now on Disney+. Not to be confused with the Star Wars Holiday Special that was banned from existence.
We didn't watch that one.
We didn't watch that one.
What one?
It's not officially available, aside from the cartoon part, which is on the Blu-ray of the Complete Saga, which is no longer the Complete Saga because they made 3 more movies. And what's cool about this special is that even though it's non-canonical, it does take place after Episode 9. So to me, it's the true ending of Star Wars. As far as I know, maybe there's some book that takes place even further into the future. As far as I'm aware, this is like the last thing that happens in Star Wars. This is the end. So it's pretty special. No wonder why they called it special in the title.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Michael, going into this, what were your expectations? I know, Star Wars isn't really something that you're as into as I am, but you do seem to enjoy the Lego-related media, as do I, so.
Yeah, I mean, even, back before the Lego movie, I was really excited. There was a TV special, and it was a submarine, water exploration special, and it was, I think it was, the first big animated Lego thing, so it was, a huge deal, and it aired on TV. But I don't typically watch, I don't watch, all the Lego specials. I pretty much have just stuck to the movies. But, I don't know, there was just something special about it being, a holiday event. I know you were, hyping it up, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. That sounds exciting. It takes place after, the main movies. That's fun. So I went in expecting it to be, a 15-minute, ish, short
Yeah, I thought maybe,
special.
20 minutes, TV length, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, hearing the word short, I was it's probably going to be about, the episode of, a normal cartoon.
Absolutely.
Just 11 minutes, but I was maybe a little bit longer than that, because it's, a special, and it's streaming and not on TV, so they don't have to worry about that. And then I clicked it, and it was 47 minutes, and I was like, what a wonderful surprise.
I know, and it was so late, and I was like, well, we better start this right now.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a treat, because I knew that what was appealing to me right off the bat was, I had enjoyed the sequel trilogy. I really liked Force Awakens.
Me too.
I loved The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker made me very upset. So I was hoping that...
I feel like I'm in the exact same camp on all 3 of those.
Yeah. So I was hoping that, okay, this could maybe, redeem things a little bit, because I like these sequel trilogy characters, and I was enthralled by the idea of getting to see them again, especially because, Anthony Daniels reprises his role as C-3PO, Billy Dee Williams comes back as Lando Calrissian, they have, little bit parts, with a little bit more to do than them. Kelly Marie Tran reprises her role as Rose Tico, which was really, really cool. So I was definitely excited about that, and she actually she talked to Rey, which is something that the films cannot claim to have featured, so Rey and Rose interacted, so that was very exciting.
This really feels like it finishes out the sequel trilogy in a way that Rise of Skywalker didn't.
It kind of does.
I felt like when Disney started releasing the movies, they released all of the successful ones in December, so it started feeling like it was like a nice little Christmas joy, like a little Christmas gift. The whole family can go see a nice movie at Christmas time.
Well, and that's why it felt so fitting.
Yeah, having this take place during Christmas, like it just kind of had that feeling.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm just feeling joy. Like Star Wars isn't the most deep or complex story ever.
Speak for yourself, Michael. The light side and the dark.
It's not the deepest or most complex movie
Oh, yeah.
for me personally.
Yeah. It's an adventure serial. That's what it's supposed to be. George Lucas always said it's a movie for kids. These movies are for children, he'd say, much to the consternation of fanboys all over the world. But
yeah, like so, just having like all of it Christmas themed. Like this was how I kind of rang in the season, because like I'm not gonna watch Christmas specials until after my like finals or whatever.
Right.
So this one was like, it's coming out November 17th. I was like, I'll make an exception, and this will be the first thing that I like, the first Christmas thing that I actively seek out.
Yeah, well, there's that sense of innocence that you get from the holiday context, but also like it being Lego and like the Lego Star Wars brand. I mean, I'm sure like I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that I associate that with a lot of very fond memories of playing Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, the greatest game ever made in the history of video games.
Love that game. I played it a lot and loved it as a kid, even before I watched any of the movies.
Yeah, no, I think it was a lot of people's kind of like introduction to Star Wars, at least in our generation.
Yep.
And it was like, I mean, they've done various specials over the years, in this sort of computer generated style. I did watch the Droid Tales miniseries, which I very highly recommend, because it's basically just a little miniseries in which C-3PO retells the events of the first 6 episodes of Star Wars, and maybe even some of the TV shows, from his and R2-D2's perspective, all while another story also is playing out after the events of Return of the Jedi, which is pretty cool. And that also has Anthony Daniels and Billy Dee Williams reprising their roles as 3PO and Lando Calrissian, respectively. So that's definitely one I would recommend. But back to this one. What I think is we'll cover right off the bat, in terms of, because I think what we want to do with all of these is we want to review it as a piece of holiday viewing material, but also like on its own merit as a piece of media. So to address like how it's like a seasonal viewing experience, the ties to Christmas or the holidays or whatever you want to call it are definitely like not the focus at all. It's
the B plot.
It is the B plot, and it is a B plot in the sense that it's like a D plot. It's a few minutes in the special that they occasionally cut back to, because basically what they're doing is it picks up with the main gang of Rey and Finn and Poe and Rose and all that after the events of Rise of Skywalker.
It was exciting, like, even as somebody who's like a very, very, very casual Star Wars fan. Yeah. I've seen like most of the movies only once.
Right.
It was still exciting. Like it's like, oh, it's that time of year. I get to see Rey in the gang.
Yeah, I know. They have conditioned us to want to see them around the holidays now, so it's nice to see them play into it.
Right when you want to buy some.
I mean, same thing with having Mandalorian come out around this time, right? So
I'll catch up soon.
Gotta catch up. So it basically then picks up. You have this whole storyline of Rey has been starting to train Finn in the ways of the Force, because as the Rise of Skywalker honestly kind of somewhat botched, we established that Finn was beginning to show signs of Force sensitivity, and it really was something that like it was barely even coherent. There was the whole, oh, Rey, I never told you, as he was sinking into quicksand. We thought it was because he loved Rey. It wasn't about that. It was, I want to tell you that I'm learning to use the Force or whatever. Like it was just weird, and it didn't really feel like it was followed through upon. Finn's character was really kind of done dirty. And what's nice with this special is right off the bat they're establishing, okay, Rey is kind of, now she's becoming the master, she's taking him on as an apprentice, and what they do is, like, that's something that gives a little bit more weight to whenever we cut back to, because Rey kind of goes off and does her own thing, but whenever we cut back to the rest of the gang, that lets there be, like, some more dramatic weight to what's going on, because really what you're getting is a nice little homage to the original infamous Star Wars holiday special from the 70s, in which Chewbacca goes back to his family to celebrate Life Day. And that's exactly what they do again here, which I was surprised by, that it was a very direct tie. It wasn't just like a little one-off line of, oh, well, this is the only holiday special we've ever done, or, oh, that one was bad, wasn't it? Like, no, it's just, they're kind of doing that storyline again. It takes up basically a few minutes. And kind of the A-plot is the super ambitious thing of, like, going all across, like, periods of time and Star Wars history that are iconic, and then we occasionally cut back to basically the equivalent of like Poe Dameron trying to cook the space turkey. That's basically what it is, and that's fun.
Space Pog, if you will.
Yes. Do you know who voiced Poe Dameron in this? You're gonna freak out.
No.
He was voiced.
I feel like I should.
No. He was voiced by Jake Green, the voice of Jamak from Keeper and the Age of Wonder Beast.
Oh my god. Yeah. Time to okay, gotta rewatch.
I waited to tell you until this recording so I could get that reaction.
Wow.
There you go.
That's wonderful.
Probably will mean nothing to
Jamal.
anyone else because they probably haven't seen people. But you should.
If it means something for you, let's just say I trust your judgment.
I do.
And you're probably like, no, a friend of ours.
I do too. But yeah, so all that is to say that if you're looking for like a holiday special that really screams holiday or Christmas or any of that, you're not really going to get that here. That is not the focus. It's sort of just like little wraparounds, occasionally cut back to it, give you like a little bit.
There's a few like glimpses of it in the A plot, but those are very few and far between.
Yeah, I mean, I would even say like I don't even know how much they're necessarily just in terms of like it being like a generational kind of story and like sort of a sense of warmth, but it's very just kind of thematic in the A plot. If you want actual holiday gathering and those kind of sitcom-y shenanigans, then you're getting that for like a few minutes in total of this like 47-minute long special. But what you do get is a rather ambitious storyline in which Rey kind of goes through rifts in the space-time continuum, which is always exciting whenever Star Wars expanded media does some time travel. Because I know, at least me personally, I was kind of half expecting The Rise of Skywalker to involve some time travel shenanigans. Did I think that it would be good? No. But I did think that it would be silly, ridiculous fun that would let us at least ride on the high of going back to like the iconic moments in the series. And in this LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special, or as I like to call it, the true Episode 9, we got to see that goofy fun, and it works because it's in a LEGO cartoon. So, it's totally fine.
And it's all silly, and it's still just like all the games, and
yeah.
I'm sure pretty much every single LEGO special that I haven't seen, it parodies a lot of things. It's a lot of like previous Star Wars scenes and such. Even like, hey, this is like not even like in the exact, hey, we're back in New Hope. It's parody a scene from New Hope.
Right.
It kind of like mixes and matches them, almost like a Lego, and it's just fun. It's a fun time.
Well, that's one of the funniest parts when it climaxes in the famous like twin suns on Tatooine, Binary Sunset moment, and like all of the ridiculous assortment of characters that kind of just fall out, and it's like it's a good gag. You have to see it.
It was a really fun visual. It felt like somebody like had a box of Lego, and then they like flipped it upside down and just poured it all out for you to play with on Christmas morning.
Cause like what's smart about this, what's actually smart on a writing level, I think, is that it so easily could just be it's this hodgepodge of all of these moments you remember because we can't create anything new. We're gonna show you the stuff that you like and have seen already. But what's nice, at least like even on a surface level, is that the connective tissue initially is presented as Rey is thinking, oh, well then this can give me insight into how to approach my training of Finn, because I'm thinking he's still not really ready, and I need to like seek more wisdom of like, the Jedi of the past and that. So that I thought was a smart reason for why all of this chaos is happening, as opposed to just, well, we're gonna bounce around these different time periods. So that was really fun to see. And it was also really fun to see Rey interact with, because of course The Last Jedi, we talk about how Rian Johnson subverted expectations all the time, but it's very much that you had Rey confronting Luke, and Luke was not the vision of what you would necessarily expect based on the original trilogy, in terms of he's not like this boyish hero, like all optimistic and stuff. It's more of a jaded, weathered perspective that you get from him. But here, it's so interesting because instead of seeing a Luke after all of the events of the original trilogy, she basically spends a lot of time with a Luke before the events of the original trilogy. It's a Luke she picks up right when he's still like on Tatooine before he really embarks on like A New Hope, like right after that binary sunset. So that was really cool. I thought that was a very smart flip and kept in the theme of, yeah, like sort of the generational divide that the sequel trilogy has been going towards, and also the whole discussion and embracing of failure and the passing on from, you know, the master to the apprentice, and we are what they grow beyond. Yoda basically shows up to kind of give Rey the lesson that he once gave Luke about her, except now she's on the other side of it, which was really cool to see, honestly. But yeah, I think then, if there was anything in terms of, like, critiquing, I think, at least in the beginning, I think sometimes when we go to these different moments throughout Star Wars history, like, it's brief enough for each of the moments, like, oh, we'll see Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, or we'll go briefly to the pod race, or we even go to the Mandalorian, which is, like, crazy that was there. But it's, like, so succinct that, like, there isn't really necessarily, like, a joke that's being told with it, or, like, it's not really necessarily furthering the story in any way. I think that would be my main complaint of just, like, sometimes it sort of just feels like we kind of bounce around almost too quickly, and we don't get to see, like, a proper satirization of any of the scenes. It's just kind of like, oh, we're there, isn't it cool, we're there, and then move on before you really get a chance to, like, take it in. I don't know if you felt that way at all.
I think that they might have done that specifically because, like, if they were like, hey, here it is, we know you know all the jokes about this place, but here it is, okay, next, kind of a deal.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just then if that's the thing, then, like, maybe don't do this as your approach to a story in the first place if all the jokes have been done. Right, I don't know. Like, either find then a new joke to tell about it, or go to a scene that isn't as heavily satirized. Because they don't go to, like, they don't go to I Am Your Father.
They don't do the reveal moment, but they do make the joke.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, it's hard to avoid that, but yeah, so they didn't always go for the most obvious scenes. And even when they went to, like, one of the super iconic ones with Binary Sunset, like we were talking about before, it's such a weird, different kind of play on it.
Yeah, it's the payoff of everything that happens in this special, and not necessarily a parody of the scene itself. It's just the backdrop.
Exactly. Which I think is when this special worked the best. When it was telling its own weird story using the iconography of Star Wars. And that's kind of what brings me into, I think, talking about the whole, like, Palpatine, Vader, Kylo Ren plot. Which I think was, let's just call it what it is. It was a delight. I think that was an absolute delight. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was fun.
I enjoyed seeing all of those villains come together, and what's cool about it is they go to Kylo Ren like in the midst of like Episode 8, Last Jedi time, because you get shirtless Kylo Ren moment, and it's basically it's after he's already destroyed his helmet, which is kind of funny because they have to like put it back together as well. But also it's like it's definitely after he's already killed Snoke, because they make a joke about that. But also, what's so interesting is that even though it does take place after Episode 9, to me they kind of split the difference between, okay, we're going to fix stuff about Episode 9, but also we're going to just kind of ignore stuff about Episode 9. And what I mean by that is, first in terms of fix, it's the stuff with Rey towards Finn, that it's like, well, we kind of didn't have, like, the actual realization of Finn, like, really coming into his own with the Force sensitivity. So we're going to touch on that more overtly here. So that's a fix. But in terms of kind of, like ignoring or, like, kind of almost overwriting, I would say, the whole pretense of Palpatine, like, if he's then, like, able to, like, come back or whatever, like, they even have a whole line that obviously is meant to be, like, kind of a winking nod of, like, oh, well, once you're thrown down the thing in Return of the Jedi, when Vader throws you down and you explode, like, there's no coming back from that. Which, like, in a way, I guess you can take it as, like, oh, well, that's just a joke about how he will actually come back from it. But to me, like, that's never actually shown within this. So I kind of just took it as, actually, he is gonna blow up, and that'll be that. I don't know. I mean, that's probably just wishful thinking on my part. But it was really interesting to me that they didn't try to go with this whole additional plot of, well, we're going to play into the fact that there's these Palpatine clones or try to explain. Like, Michael, you and I were talking while watching it, like, oh, is this going to be these time travel shenanigans, like, kind of retroactively justifying how Palpatine was even back in Rise of Skywalker? Which I thought that
would have been... I think that would have been awesome. Like, actively, it'd be like, yeah, this special is fantastic.
Yeah.
If it decided to, like, play that hard with the timeline of the main movies.
Yeah, because the thing you said to me, and I can honestly see this being a possibility, that they were toying with, because all the pieces are there. They literally could have just had Palpatine, like, because there's these, like, little, like, pieces that are what Rey is able to use to travel through time.
Yeah, it's like a crystal. Like, they always refer to it as the key, but she does, like, the Doctor Strange, like, circle, and then it opens up a portal, and then she just hops through it, and it's time.
So I thought, like, Palpatine, he would, like, grab a fragment of it at the end and then go through a portal and just leave it at that. Even if it was just that, I can so see that being in another draft of this, and Lucasfilm just being like, no, you can't do that. Like, that's too much. That is just way, like a huge... Either it's, like, too big of a deal that they wouldn't want to cover it in a special like this, or they just thought it would be confusing in terms of, like, are they trying to overwrite the canon when this is supposed to be just a non-canon special? I don't know. I think the opportunity was right there, though, and it would have kind of been awesome. I agree. But... that said, like, yeah, they didn't do that, but I think the story that they did end up telling in terms of, like, kind of Rey, like, learning from from the past and, like, getting to meet different versions of, like, the heroes and villains, like across time, was very entertaining to watch. And yeah, no, I found myself definitely having a good time with it, and I'm glad that it was made, for sure. Yeah, how did you feel just sort of in general?
I mean, I liked it. I might watch it again with my roommates, like, this weekend, so
yeah. I
liked it enough to watch it again. And I think that, like, even you were talking about this earlier with how it, like, kind of splits the difference between episode 8 and 9. I think that it's made in such a way that, like, let's say, you're home together with the family, and maybe some of your family, like, hated episode 9, and maybe some of them were like, oh, Last Jedi is, like, the worst. This special's like, okay. But, like, come together and watch a little funny special that we do, like, all the basic jokes for the original trilogy, but we kind of skim through those, and then we have a bunch of sequel trilogy jokes. Did you like Last Jedi? Well, it doesn't really matter. It's a fun time. It's just a fun, cozy time.
They even throw in their little prequel jab. These Lego specials do that a lot. I know Droid Tales did it. They're like, taxation, who cares about that? Obi-Wan, like, it gives more character to the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon dynamic than frankly was present in The Phantom Menace. So, and even though that's a sequence that's literally like 10 seconds, there's more character there. Which is just a delight. And kind of also picks up on, like, even the Lego Star Wars, like, the video game cutscenes kind of went with this whole idea of Obi-Wan being, like, more, like, kind of jump into it, like, impulsive in his younger days, and Qui-Gon being like, oh, gosh, this guy, let's just do the job. And, yeah, like, I think in general will be not offensive to any side. You could just kind of laugh about everything. Only thing I was annoyed about was seeing Zori Bliss and Poe Dameron have a little mistletoe smooch at the end. That was, yucky.
I groaned.
Yeah, that was a groan, but you know what? Whatever. We'll blame corporate on that one. But the thing, we'd be remiss not to mention the funniest...
I was waiting the whole time.
Yeah. The funniest thing that we've ever seen be in this special. And why don't you describe this, Michael?
I'll describe this by saying that I don't know if it qualifies as a joke. However, when it did happen, Brian and I were laughing so hard. I don't know about you, but, like, I like started having tears in my eyes. Like, could barely
I was laughing so hard. Literally, like, the scene had progressed beyond this moment so much. Like, it was like a full minute later, and I
think we actively missed things because we were laughing so much.
Yes, and that's what I was like, I have to pay attention, but I'm still, like, audibly laughing, and it's like 3:50 in the morning, and I'm laughing my guts out here. But
Yeah.
it's I guess then the little prelude to this is, of course, there's always little tinkerings that are made to the original films. George Lucas is famous for having done this with the Star Wars, the special editions, whether it be in 1997 or 2004 or with the Blu-rays or what have you. But we thought it was all done. We thought it was done because Lucas he gave the rights to Disney, but apparently there was a change that had been made prior to that just hadn't seen the light of day until Disney Plus put up the film. So it just sort of was quietly inserted, which makes it all the better. And it's right in if you, in case you haven't heard, it's in the scene with Han and Greedo. It's not another edit to whether Greedo shot first or Han shot first or whatever. It's not about that. It's literally the shot before the shot, if you will. The shot before the gunshot. We have Greedo inexplicably say the phrase McClunky, and then the shooting occurs. We don't know, I don't know why it was inserted. I guess it was just to further give a sense that, well, Han is acting in self-defense, because I don't know how much you necessarily are familiar with this, Michael. The whole idea is that George Lucas, looking back, was like, man, this moment really makes Han Solo look like a cold-blooded killer. Let's make it be that it was in self-defense, and that's why, so that you could, you like him more, and I've grown softer in old age, it was that kind of whole thing. So it seems like this is also supposed to be, it was dragging things in that direction, I think. Especially because it's apparently it's Huttese for "This Will Be the End of You," which makes it all the funnier when it's in the context that it is.
I didn't know that. Oh my god.
I think that's what it is. I read that online. Who knows if that's actually accurate? I don't know Huttese. The depths of my nerddom only go so far. But in this moment, now there's even a Han shot first joke in the special, because they get Han and Greedo, and there's a whole big fight of all different Star Wars characters from across all different timelines. They charge towards each other like a real Avengers Endgame battle-esque moment.
I legitimately thought they were going to say, a symbol.
Yeah, it literally felt that way.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't, especially considering it's Lego.
Yeah, but Greedo was there.
Assemble the Lego.
Greedo was there, in Episode 4 era, during the time hopping. So you would think it would maybe happen there, but no, they catch you completely off guard. It's back over in the post Episode 9 stuff, where they're doing the holiday party on Kashyyyk with Chewbacca and his family. And they just, Finn mentioned something about, we're bringing more holiday guests to celebrate. And then it pans over, and you have Greedo, and I swear, you have to look it up, because we can't do it justice. Because it's not just the precise delivery, but also the visual.
It's not just because he says McClunky.
It was our friend Ben, who also watched the special with us, who made this observation. Greedo, he just goes, and he says it with the same cadence, as if he walked into the room and went, "What's up?" And in that exact same way, kind of leans back, lifts his arms out, spreads them out, and go as if in form of a greeting, says, "McClunky," and it was just
he goes, McClunky.
McClunky. It's the funniest thing we've ever seen.
I believe it's at 28 minutes and 7 seconds, if you just want to see that.
Yeah. And honestly, it is...
Which, it's worth
it. That is worth the Disney Plus subscription, just to see that.
Yes. Listen, I know everyone's telling you to, look at the Baby Yoda adventures, but, come on.
I think they officially released the clip. But I highly urge you to check it out, if that sounds like something that you would find funny. It is purely for... I mean, we were making so many McClunky jokes the past year. It has that kind of vibe of they chucked it into the script because they were making each other laugh, and then they said, "Oh, hey, hey, Greg, why don't you go get in the booth and say it?" And he couldn't say it without laughing, so the laughter seeps into the actual delivery of the line.
Yeah, it makes you really feel like he's seeing some old friends for Christmas.
Yes, that's what's also great about it. It's the most...
he gets so he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while." Yeah. Hey guys,
it captures the holiday feel. That's arguably more than anything else. Even when there's snow and and mistletoe and Yuletide joy, that's the moment that made me feel the most it's Christmas in a silly way. But yeah, of course we had to talk, but we had to end on that because that's the best thing ever.
Yes.
But I mean, hopefully then this gave you some insight. I definitely, I would recommend it if you're into Star Wars. I mean, I think then,
even I had quite a fun time watching it.
Yeah.
I wasn't ever checking the time to be like, okay, I'm liking it, but I want to do something else now.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty much as casual a Star Wars fan as you can.
Yeah, I think if you have any level of affinity for, especially, the sequel trilogy characters, and you just kind of want to see them again doing stuff. And
yeah, I haven't even seen all the movies.
Yeah, and I think it will wash a little bit of the taste of Episode 9 out of your mouth, which, I mean, look, I would definitely prescribe that as medicine for you, if that is what you so need, as many of us, I think, did. So yeah, no, definitely a nice fun time through all the different long times ago's in the galaxy far, far away. And yeah, they put it together piece by piece, like a bunch of Lego bricks all together into one nice big holiday special. So
yeah, all the various pieces of the Star Wars movies came together, were assembled
Michael, that is what I just said.
Special way.
That is what I just said.
Yes.
I chose the words intentionally. I said my thing, and then you checked it, because we're checking it twice. So thank you for listening to the first episode of Checking It Twice. Join us next time, in which we're going to talk about another holiday special. I don't know which yet. We have the list. I don't know what order we're going in. We'll figure it out. Just trust us. You have to trust us on this.
You'll be on your toes. It's a mystery now.
It's a mystery. Yeah.
It's a Christmas present. You can't open it till tomorrow.
And
thank you for listening.
Yeah, have a happy holiday season.
Happy holidays. McClunky.